Hello cardboarders, welcome back. Today's order will be only focused on this letter, which is worth around 1.2k, but I only paid like $5 for it, plus some trade in value. And you could do this too. Let's find out how in another installment of Quest for Cube. Let's pop this one open. You can see here 53 MTG cards. Let's see what's inside. A little box. Let's see about the contents. Okay, there we are. Some Arabian Nights cards. And this is what I traded for them. You can see here a Mox Diamond, a Intuition, a Wheel of Fortune, which was in poor condition. I had a whole video on it where someone bit into the card because of a lost bet, a Dark Sphere, Ignite Memories, a foil Secret Lair Chrome Mox, a retro foil, Steam Vents, Demonic Tutor, Brain Geyser, Verdant Catacombs, Misty Rainforest, a Senseless Divining Top, and a altered Steam Vents. They wanted to build their own CEDH, I think, Storm deck, and I want to continue building on Arabian Nights and generally vintage set cubes, but the focus for today will be Arabian Nights cards. And the person I traded with I found on Facebook, and they were really kind. We already traded once. I don't know how much I paid for the first order, maybe 100, 200, don't remember. But they still had a whole bunch of more cards, and I wasn't liquid enough to buy everything off them, but I bought a fraction of it, and most of it now has been traded for the cards that I just shown on screen. And yes, you can do this too. As I said at the beginning, if you have cards flying around that you don't need and maybe someone else wants them, you can trade for them. You can also go to a store and trade them your cards for the cards that you want. Maybe you want to have your very first dual land and want to work towards that. You open booster packs, probably you have commander decks that are flying around in your shelf that you're no longer playing. Maybe you haven't played them in half a year or so. Urnheim, I don't have one yet, and this is my first one. This should be one of the more expensive ones in this order, with around a worth of $300, and this is a really nice copy of it. Pyramids, another more expensive one, where Rudy from Alpha Investments, I think, did a buyout on it. I have a If Biff Ifrit, let's put this a little to the side, which had been graded earlier, but apparently was cracked out of the PSA slab. And I don't mind, I want to play this one, but it's nice to have this little sliver here as well. This was a 7, interesting, and it has like a nick down there, like a deeper scratch. The rest of the card is really clean. I can see it on front as well here. And yeah, other than that, it's really clean. I will keep the sliver here, and yeah, I can't use it to play with it. Can't put it randomly into the sleeve card, wouldn't be readable, but I'll keep it around. I'll keep it next to my set cube somewhere in the box. And while we enjoy those cards, let's continue talking about the trade. I had most of the cards multiple times and I didn't need them anymore. Most of them, the Chrome Mox was the only one that I didn't have multiple ones of, that I didn't need anymore. But the deal was so nice, and the person that I traded with as well. By the way, they are Serial Killer 216 if you want to help them out with their YouTube channel. They're mostly doing a mix of Pokemon gameplay and Pokemon and MTG openings. Maybe you want to help them out, let them know that I sent you. And again, thank you for this wonderful trade. This really helps me out with my entire set cube. The amount of cards that I get here should help me to get like 10% more of the cards on the way that I needed for the entire cube. So that's really nice to be able to get that many from one person without having to pay multiple times of shipping. I have a whole video where I already try it out and try to draft with it, but now I can play with even more cards, so that's really nice. For those people who don't know how a cube is being played, you have an amount of cards that can host like, let's say 10 players. You can choose any other number if you want, and you need cards depending on how many players you want to play with. For my cube, I wanted to have 10 players, so I need enough cards of this set to be able to, for example, draft with this entire set of Arabian Nights. And what I also wanted to do is to have a distribution similar to the distribution that was found in the booster pack. So I need a certain amount of each of the different commons and uncommons to be able to reflect that distribution. And then you just build booster packs, you sort them by commons and uncommons. There were no rares in the set, you shuffle them up and build some booster packs that way, and then you just have a normal draft, have a fun time together and revisit history. And this could be a way for you to do that too. If you have a couple of modern cards or maybe some older cards that you don't need anymore, you can find people online to trade with. Always do your due diligence and find out if they're trustworthy, if they have enough references. Maybe you want some insured shipping, maybe you want to meet them in person and just trade in person. So the online market is a really nice place to do that, but always do be careful and just don't trust all people randomly online. Maybe you want to do a short video call, let them show them the cards that they are legit. This is what we did as well. We showed the condition to each other of each of the cards that we are about to trade, and if we're happy with that, and then you also get to know them a little. So that's also a nice side on this. Or yeah, maybe you want to go to a shop, a local game store, support them and trade some cards in that you no longer need for some cards that you want. Maybe you want to build a vintage set cube like Arabian Nights, which is quite expensive to be honest, but maybe you want to start with the dark set cube. So this is how I approached this challenge, first with the dark set cube, and then I went into antiquities and legends, and later on now to Arabian Nights and Unlimited as well. And man, this is shaping up nicely. Some of them are quite used. I know they told me that they also added some bonus cards. Really thankful for that. I will look at their closer condition while I sleeve them up if I can include them. But yeah, really nice, really friendly person. Very happy to have met them online and be able to do this trade with them. So thank you. Another thing that you could reflect on is if you need multiples. If you're playing Commander, you could also maybe proxy the cards that you have a need of multiple cards to be in your different decks, and have one original one which you might have in a binder, so it also doesn't lose any value on condition, to show everyone that yes, you do have this card, it is real. If you want to do it that way, and trade away the rest of the cards. Do you really need 4 of each Sharkland, or is it enough to have 1 of each and trade away the rest, which I actually did. So for my videos that I show on the channel, I will swap out the more expensive cards into other decks and be able to play with them in different decks by just swapping them out, which is totally fine for me. If you don't want to do that, you can always go a little more budget. I also have a whole bunch of pauper decks on my channel. Ooh, that's signed. I don't remember ordering that, but maybe I did, I don't know. Really nice one. And yeah, if you don't play high power, or today, as we say, if you play bracket 1 to 3, you could build a pauper deck which is totally able to match with the average table, and we have many powerful decks on the channel of PEDH decks that don't need any expensive cards in them to be powerful and have an impact on the table. Ooh, a Dandan for my collection, really nice. Another one. We're nearing the end of the video. Thank you everyone for sticking around, and again thank you to the person who sent me all of their Arabian Nights cards, or most of them. I'll appreciate them forever and play them in my set cube. And if you do enjoy vintage cards in general, do let me know what your favorite card of today was. I have a whole playlist on Quest for Cube where I open vintage cardboard rectangles. Hope to see you there. It's currently the time of fasting, so happy fasting if you're doing that. I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.